Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Tyler here, bringing you another video today. And there's actually not going to be no gameplay today, but we will be talking some Call of Duty, as the Call of Duty League is getting back in action this weekend, man. And I will say real quickly on the gameplay part of it, my ranked play, man, I got to get some videos done. I've been slacking the last couple of weeks. There's no reason why I haven't got at least a few videos done of my ranked play, but either way, man, we're into a fresh new season of that and everything, and I still got plenty of gameplay that I need to get uploaded, man, so I'll try my best to get some of that done over the next week or two. But either way, man, we'll dive into some Call of Duty League talk today as we get the matches going for the Stage 2 online qualifiers. And, we'll talk about some Rostermania, some of the moves that happened and whatnot, and what I expect, see from these teams going forward. But before we get into any of that, we got to check out some breaking news that literally just happened right before I started this video. I was literally about to start it and then started popping off on the timeline, man. So I had to, reset a minute and, let things kind of play out so I could, talk about that a little bit as we start off here. But as you can see, apparently Hecz and Scump, along with some other CDL owner groups, have filed a lawsuit against Activision for its monopoly over the Call of Duty League. So there will be an article, of course, that you can read if you'd like. You can go check it out on Twitter, of course. Charlie and 12 tweeting about it, Breaking Point as well. A few other pages as well have tweeted about this. So definitely insane to see, and it looks like they are looking for up to like $680 million to be paid back from Activision to these teams, which is insane. But there's a whole lot that could come out of this. But with Hecz and Scump at the head of it, with Optic, of course, with that, big brand and whatnot, this could end up being something. It's, still early, of course. This stuff literally all just dropped in the last, 20 minutes or so. Of course, by the time you're seeing this video, it's the next morning, of course. But either way, had to at least mention this stuff, man. Call of Duty League and Activision just been a very odd thing over the last few years. And, yeah, it's a whole long story, man. I don't want to get into it. I'll yap away for way too long on it. Just wanted to at least, mention, hey, there's a lawsuit out there. Things are happening. But either way, we'll go ahead and dive into today what I want to talk about. Of course, some of the roster changes, and then of course I'll talk about, my fantasy team for Breaking Point heading into Stage 2 here, Major 2 in Miami, of course. And I'll, look at the schedule and go over my pick'ems for, the first weekend of these Stage 2 online qualifiers. But either way, we'll check out the teams. Of course, FaZe stay the same. Breach, they bring in ASIM for Capsule. Definitely a solid move. I thought they were going to bring in Kremp. Instead, they go with ASIM, which, good move. I do think that they might need a second move. Priest, though, I like a lot, but they might need to move on from him as well. We'll see how it goes with the ASIM pickup here. I definitely think they'll be a little bit better, at least with this. For Carolina, you see it's the same 4 that they were rocking with heading into the last tournament, but officially out is Real. Got Visa cheesed. I don't think that this team is going to keep on looking like they have. Not that they've been great by any means, but they've been looking pretty solid. I definitely think they'll probably fall off now at this point. They still might look hot to at least start this stage, but I think as we get into, the third and fourth week of the online qualifiers, I think you'll start to see Carolina kind of falter off a little bit. And that's nothing against them. It's just, I just don't think they're really that great. Gwyn, I think, is really good as far as, rookies go and whatnot. And, he's just with a bunch of vets there. So, it's a team that could, make noise here and there, but I just don't see them being too great by any means going forward. They'll probably just be a little bit below mid-tier, I think. I think they're around the 10th best team, maybe 9th. The Vegas Legion. You see, they picked up Geo for Standy. Now, there's a whole lot with this too as well, man. Standy, definitely, if you look at the stats and whatnot, or just watch the games in general, you know that he is not the player that should be getting dropped. It should be Purge. And, nothing against him personally, but he's definitely been terrible to start this year. He was really good in Challengers last year, of course, but definitely has not translated to the league here with Vegas. But Standy, the whole thing is it's out of game stuff, like in practice or just personality wise and whatnot. So it's been a thing that has been brought up a few times over Standy's career. So I guess I can understand it, but they bring in Gio, which of course that's Purge's buddy. If I had to guess, I don't know, man. I just don't see this team doing good at all. I don't think they'll be the worst team in the league, but I definitely don't think that they're going to get better off this move. If anything, they get worse, or at least just stay the same, which is still not good at all, man. They love getting reverse swept, all that good stuff, but yeah, Vegas, they're just not very good. LAG, they're sticking with the same four. I think they'll continue to do the same. They'll probably be, mid-tier team all year, and they'll probably, eventually, win some matches that they probably shouldn't win, and, probably lose some matches that they probably shouldn't lose. It's just, what happens when you get in that mid-tier mix. Next up, the Thieves. They make a couple changes, definitely much needed. They bring in Kremp and Nasty. They go ahead and release Cammy, and they send Joe Deceives to the bench spot, and, the guys will be playing in challenges for the meantime, but they bring in Kremp and Nasty. Definitely a couple players that I think definitely should be in the league. And, I don't know if this is the right mix for those two guys, but I would have liked to see Kremp and Asim stay together as well. It's just unfortunate that couldn't be worked out. Either way, though, I think this team has some potential to be better than they have been. They definitely got to figure out the hard points, man, because watching them play hard point was rough last stage. And, of course, it'll be a lot different watching now because they were on the old patch. And, of course, they'll be on all the new hills and stuff that, we're used to playing with ranked play that we've had for the last month or so. But either way, man, definitely think this LAT team will definitely be improved. Still don't think they'll be great by any means. They'll probably be, just a mid-pack team. But definitely gets them out of that bottom four mix, I think. So we'll see, how they do going forward. Heretics also make a move as Journey is out of that starting lineup, and they bring in Eric Boom. We'll see how he does there. I'm not sure if this will really change much for this team. I think they'll probably continue to do the same. They'll just be a mid-tier team that, again, will just, win some games that they shouldn't and also lose some games they shouldn't. It's just the way it'll go with those mid-tier teams. Again, they just play a different style. It's, it's fun to watch. I like the Heretics. Solid guys there, solid squad. They, got good vibes, and there's, fun gameplay to watch. Moving on there, we got the Rocker. They stick the same here, man. I definitely think they could definitely improve. It's just, who do you change out? I definitely don't really think Awakening's too good, honestly, in accuracy. I think he's a good player. I just think it's just, at this point of his career, I think he's pretty much done. So it's like, between those two, maybe you bring in a younger gun there. I don't know. Either way, they stick it out. And either way, if you make a move, I don't think it really changes much for this team. They probably just, I don't think they stay mid-tier, though. I think Major 1 was probably the best you'll see out of this squad the whole year. I think they're probably bottom 4 the rest of the way. But who knows, man? We'll see how it goes in the first couple of weeks of this stage. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Rocker's actually really good. Maybe they'll just stay consistent. Moving on with the subliners, of course, they stick it out. They definitely got to bounce back. I'm sure they'll be fine, man. I'm not expecting them to be like top team in the league by any means, but I definitely think they can get back to being, top 5 team for sure. Definitely a rough go at Major 1 for them. Optic Texas, of course, the boys sticking together. I'm sure they will, do good going forward. I definitely am high on them going into stage 2. But, of course, we'll have to see if they, improved on that search and destroy. If, they want to actually go out and win this event. Moving on with Seattle. I don't even want to talk about this too much, but Illy's, we don't even know if he's on the bench or released or what the case is. Of course, based on, some things that happened last stage and at the event and whatnot, they bring in Brezzy for Illy. Now, obviously, this has got to do with the out-of-game stuff or whatever he's, abusing to help the in-game. It's obviously been too much, or whatever they're doing to deal with it, they're doing. They haven't really said much, of course, so I'm not going to say much either. But Brezzy comes in for now. If this is a performance thing, obviously it's faded. We all know that, so there's no way that's the case. Arcides is probably the player that needs to get replaced. He's pretty much done. No offense. Like the guy a lot. He's a solid dude, but he's just done at this point, man. He just can't keep up no more. Plain and simple. So Brezzy, again, of course, buddies with Abusa, gets brought in as the new fourth here. I don't think Seattle will do good. I'm not sure if they're getting scrims, man, because the whole GA is being broke last stage like crazy. So who knows if they're even getting scrims. And with this change, it's just, man, I don't expect them to be any good anymore now, man. Seattle's a bottom 4 team at this point for me, unless Hook and Abusa just world star every series, which I don't see happening. And then, of course, Toronto Ultra, your Major 1 champs, of course, sticking the same. I'm sure they'll continue to do good going forward, man. But yeah, man, that's it for the Rostermania stuff. Just wanted to run through that real quick. We'll go over my fantasy team real quick here for Major 2. So we'll check it out, my team here. I'm going for an Optic Major 2 show out, man. I think they're going to do well, and I'm going with Dashy as my captain. Of course, a lot of talk around him, whether he should change up his play style or whatnot. People want him to go back to getting more kills and whatnot. Here's the thing. I think that he can do a little bit of both. I think he can play for more kills and still be the objective guy. I think he can do a little bit of both. Optic just has to, adjust a little bit of who's on which hills. And, of course, that will change with the hills being changed with the, them being on the updated game now. So we'll see, how they adjust. But I'm going through that whole Optic arc here where Major 2 is going to be their time to shine. Dashy's going to come out, show out, and be my captain here for this event here in the Breaking Point Fantasy. Shout out to Breaking Point again, by the way, man. They do all sorts of great stuff. Their website's real nice. You can see the stats, the teams, the players, the schedule, all sorts of stuff, standings. They do real well over on YouTube and stuff with shows and different podcasts and whatnot. So yeah, man, shout out to Breaking Point. But yeah, man, also along with Dashy, we'll go with Pred, 2 Optic players here on the team for Stage 2. And then we'll take Sib. He was only $6, which I thought was kind of crazy. A guy that usually gets a lot of kills. So we'll go ahead and add him to the squad. And then Abizi, another guy that's been talked about as, been kind of struggling here to start with this game. Kind of adjusting to, different style with the bigger maps and more AR heavy maps. You will see Rio now into the mix here in Stage 2. So definitely helps the SMG players there. And I think Abizi will definitely show out and improve a lot more here as we hit Stage 2. So this is my squad here. Dashy as the captain with Pred, and then Sib and Abizi. Seems like a solid squad, man. I think I'll do well here. We're heading over to the pick'ems now. We'll go through those real quick and get out of here, man. Looking at Major 1, I didn't do completely terrible, but still didn't do great, but ranked 1,059 out of I don't know how many, but I'm sure it was a lot. Either way, I'm about 36 points behind Lick My Biscuit. Whoa, that's crazy. They got first place with 137, so 36 points behind the winner. 101 points, pretty solid stage. Either way, we got to do better for Major 2, man. We'll try to do our best here with these predictions. So we'll start off with Friday. Just 2 matches, which is kind of insane. I will touch on that real quickly before we go through these predictions, but I think it's absolutely insane that there's only 2 matches on a day. What is it with the 2 match days? There should never be a 2 match day. It should always be 3 minimum, and you should have at least 1 over the weekend where it's 4, whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Probably most likely Saturday makes the most sense. But either way, 2-3-3 is pretty sad. I understand that you want to have more online matches this season since you have one less major. But the fact that you're also now stretching it over 5 weeks is insane. Where last week it was over 3 weeks and we had 5 majors. You'd have 3 weeks of the qualifiers, then the major. Now this year it's all different. It's like sometimes it's 4 weeks, sometimes it's 5. You got breaks left and right. Then the majors. It's just insane. It's all over the place. But yeah, man, you got all these online qualifiers for Stage 2 are stretched over 5 weeks, which I think is nuts. It should not be more than 4 weeks. But either way, man, Friday night we start off with just 2 matches, and we'll go with Toronto Ultra 3-1 over to Miami Heretics, and then we'll take the New York Subliners 3-2 over to Carolina Royal Ravens. Now, I do think that Carolina will not look too good during this stage, but at the very beginning, you know how Clay is. You know the boys have been grinding. I'm sure that they'll, show some fight here, but New York will close it out in that Game 5 search and destroy. And I do think we will see Rio here in this series. I don't think we'll see it in the first one between Toronto and Miami, because I have a feeling that for some reason Miami's probably like insane on that map, so maybe Toronto doesn't want to play them on it right away. But who knows, I might be wrong. I do think we will end up seeing Rio in that New York-Carolina series, though. So that will be exciting. Hopefully we see that, and we'll see if Hydra goes crazy. But either way, man, yeah, I got New York 3-2 in that matchup to round out Friday. All right, moving over to Saturday. We got Boston Breach starting the day off with a 3-1 victory over Carolina. And then we'll go FaZe 3-2 over Miami. I think that's actually going to be a really good series, man. We'll go Game 5. FaZe get the job done. Miami, with getting a game under their belt the day before, I think, they come in a little hot, guns shooting a little better, maybe I'm wrong, who knows. FaZe might just 3-0 slam them, because you know how FaZe is. But either way, I like a good series there, but FaZe get the victory in the end 3-2, and then ending Saturday night, we got New York with a 3-0 slammage over Seattle. Again, New York, a team that just played the day before, already got a match under their belt here for Stage 2. And then Seattle, don't know if they're getting warm-ups, don't know if they're getting scrims, none of that, not sure. And either way, with the roster move and everything that's going on over there, I just don't like the vibes. So we'll go 3-0 slammage, New York, get the job done. And then moving on to Sunday, we start off the day with LAG 3-1 over Vegas. The Gorillas get a nice victory there. Nice way to start Stage 2 for them. And then we'll go with Toronto getting a victory 3-1 over Rocker. Another team getting the second match of the weekend there. Toronto will give them their second victory there. I'm sure they'll continue to dominate, especially against teams that are in the mid-tier and lower pack of the league, of course. And then rounding out Sunday night, of course, Optic ends the weekend taking on the Los Angeles Thieves. And, I think with those changes, the Thieves will be a little bit better. But with your first match being against Optic, good luck, man. Good luck. Green ball, baby. We getting the job done, starting Stage 2 off right with the 3-1 victory over the Thieves. So that'll be it for my predictions here for Week 1 of Stage 2, man. Alright, that's enough yapping from me, man. That's going to do it. We'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Go ahead, comment below, who you expect to do well here in this next stage here in the CDL. What roster changes do you think were good? Which ones do you think were bad? Or, which ones do you think were needed that didn't happen? And, comment, who you think is going to, win these matches here in the opening weekend. All that good stuff. And, yeah, I'll try my best to get some ranked play videos done here in the next week. So stay on the lookout for those coming soon. And also, of course, check out the Madden videos if you're interested in that at all. Been getting those done. So check those out as well. Again, appreciate everyone watching. Slap that like button for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Have a nice day. Peace.